Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, good night. I don't know where you are or when you are going to be watching this. We're live here from the Odyssey HQ, what was Momentum Mission Control for the weekend. As you can see, it's beautiful here, so we might as well be sitting here talking to you because that's much more fun than the weather. I'm here with Rutger van Zuidam himself, and we're here with a group of other people, challenge leads and team captains or team representatives from all over the world, to talk about, if I'm not mistaken, opening up real estate.
Yes.
We have actually three of the challenge leads, I believe, on the call. Just checking that they're all in. Do we have Dirk? We do. There is Dirk, Dirk van Barneveld from the Dutch Ministry of Interior. And we have Joe Bronkers. Joe is there for me in the middle of the screen. It could be different for you. He is from, and I don't know if I assume you're a Dutch company, so I'm sure it's Fibre, but on the screen behind you it's Earbif because it's reversed. So might want to think about that for your Google calls in the future, or it's a digital. Oh, there we go. That's easy for you to fix later. And Nick van Appeldoorn from the Kadaster. And what's interesting about these three challenge leads is they are all veterans to the world of Odyssey.
Yes.
Been with us for more than one season. But again, just like all of the team representative captains here and all the other participants this weekend, being a veteran of the physical events that we've held in the past few years is not enough, because this was the first time we've done it digitally, online, in Momentum, so everybody's a newbie.
Kind of. Well, yeah. I think it's also very cool that Misha is in the call, one of the main stakeholders in the challenge.
Fabulous.
We don't see that very often, but really, really good. And of course, the veterans do know a lot about the process. And I think they were equipped with great teams. So I would love to hear more on what happened over the weekend and what kind of results were achieved.
Yeah, so normally it's really easy for me because there's one challenge lead, so we get into the conversation and I know exactly who to pick, but I've got three, so sometimes it's a little tricky for me to direct the right question to the right person. I'm going to pick because it feels like a Nick day. I'm a Nick, you're a Nick. So I'm not Nick from Apeldoorn, you're Nick from Apeldoorn. I don't know if he's from Apeldoorn, it's just his name. Nick, if you could unmute yourself and join us for a moment, please. You're from the Kadaster, and for anybody who isn't Dutch, that's the Land Registry Office, or that's the closest translation I've found so far. That's correct, right?
Yeah, great. It's the Land Registry, yeah.
Fabulous. So why is this challenge and opening up real estate that's perhaps a little... I'm seeing Dirk saying, Nick is our spokesman. Dirk, I might be pulling you into the call just because you've said that. I might not let you get away with that. But Nick, if I understand your challenge, opening up real estate, and I don't know how good the view on this camera is, but I can see a lot of real estate from here. And you use the word object, so that most people would assume that's a building, but it could be other things. But buildings, let's keep it simple, is registered in one and in fact many places, right?
Yes, that's true.
And if I remember rightly, that is actually the core of this challenge. So could you explain to people why that's and I hate the word problem, but you'll understand me, why that's a problem and why this challenge is important.
Well, when you're outside, it's really easy when you talk to people because you just see we're talking about the same physical object in that sense. But in a fully digitized world where you collaborate with each other, share information, on the one hand, you have a lot of opportunities to solve challenges because there is a lot of information. On the other hand, you also have, you can have difficulties because all these digital data sources, how to make sure they apply to the same physical object. Because when you make, for example, policies, you want to make sure it's based on the right information, and you want to make sure those data sources are about the same physical object. So that's why we came to this challenge.
And maybe for the folks at home, because most people unfortunately are not dealing with real estate and probably not thinking about this too often. What kind of data sources or data holders are you talking about that you tend to work with?
Well, of course, buildings have a whole life cycle. So in the beginning, it can be an architect or a building company. When it gets used, you have registries like Cadastre for the ownership, but you can also have tenants, for example. There's a lot of information when buildings are used. How is it used? For example, also energy consumption. And when you move to a circular economy, you can also demolish buildings, reuse the materials. So the whole life cycle within a building, a lot of parties that have some kind of the information, but also using their own identifiers, so an address or a project number and so on. And in that collaboration, we want to incorporate some certainty.
Fabulous. I couldn't have put that better myself. And one of the things I think you really showed the nuance here is it's not just about the physical object or just about the square meters or square whatever it is sitting on, the geography, the piece of earth. That's two separate pieces of information, but what's happening inside it as well, or around it, or what effect it is having on the environment around it. And you can start going down a rabbit hole of what is real estate and what does it mean. So I guess this is exactly why you think if it can be opened up, there are a host of opportunities that we may not even understand yet. Is that right?
Yeah, it is, and that's why the challenge was so interesting, because the solutions are not applicable to just one organization. They can be used by many organizations because you can imagine a lot of use cases. So that's what I think was a lot of fun on this challenge.
I think it's also worth mentioning that this is actually a common, but in the real estate and especially project development, right, where you have new homes, this is already being done. If you look at the database, all the project development companies are maintaining together, they operate that together, and then they feed out all kinds of parts of that database to different outlets, so to say. And so collaboration across the board in the real estate space happens a lot already, and I think that's also what you're leveraging with this particular challenge, right, Nick?
Yeah, because it's already happening, the collaboration, the data sharing, and we just wanted to add some certainty. For example, is it about the same physical object? So it's already happening, and we're trying to do our best and help in that. Well, let's call them momentum or a journey. Yeah, it's already happening.
Good, fabulous. And I'm going to pick on one of the other two. Maybe I'm going to let Dirk off for a moment. Maybe we can go to Joe. Joe, I'm just curious. How was your weekend? What was the experience like for you?
Yes, well, I was very much inspired because we had 4 teams already working on 4 complementary use cases. So when you had one team, you saw the other team that was actually the follow-up of the first team. Then you went to the third team that was a follow-up of the other 2. And what made it very clear to me is when you look at all those 4, that they really find their way to work together and to see how they can be interoperable with their solutions to each other. And I think that's really great that we could see that already.
Wow.
But that's interesting. You say you have 4 teams doing complementary stuff. That's fantastic. That's the very essence of Momentum, I think. But at the same time, there's a slightly competitive element to this mass collaboration. And we're here for a finale, and we're going to, I believe, announce a winner. So how do you go about choosing a winner when you've got 4 separate things that are somewhat interconnected?
Yeah, they really challenge us. So we only had 1 hour, but we used 2 hours for the jury deliberation. We really needed that to find the real winner.
Yeah, and that's really interesting you say that, because previously when we had the physical hackathon just a kilometer or so that way, time was of a real crunch. We couldn't have given a year ago. We couldn't have given you that extra hour because we had thousands of people in the room waiting. But by going digital and moving the finales today, you took that extra hour of your own choice. But actually, it didn't interrupt anything. It didn't interrupt the finale awards. So I think that's one of the areas where going digital is actually improving the experience, or upgrading the experience. So I'm really pleased that you. Not that you had a tough time, of course, although that's a good sign in itself, but I'm pleased that you took the time to do that. We've got a whole bunch of people that want to know, did I win? Let's move forward. Just before we do that, I want to point out that the opposite of winning is losing. in the real world. Maybe, but it's not in Momentum, right? We don't have any losers. We don't go around like this because you folks have showed up. You got involved. You've got interested. You have visions on how to make the world a better place, make the future different from what it is today. And as we saw from, I think it was the Space for Good team last year.
If you pick up the connection and move forward, find out how you can be of value with the connections you have built over the weekend, and not just the weekend, but also all those months of preparation, that is something you can leverage if you pick up on it. So I think that is what you have all achieved in that sense.
Exactly, and as I was going to say, Space for Good last year were not the team who won the prize, but they did go ahead and make a fantastic pilot program with their challenge leads. So I would encourage you, if you don't win today, you'll all walk away with some cash money prize because it's a collaborative environment. Don't be disheartened. Maybe celebrate with your team for the successes you do have and keep going. Here's how we're going to do this. I am going to set a drum roll running in a moment, and then I've actually been asking the challenge lead to name the winning team. And so we already heard from Nick, we heard from Joe, and we happen to have a third challenge lead. So you know what's coming, Dirk. I'm gonna ask you to unmute your microphone, and once the drum roll is over, and I say 3, 2, 1, you're going to name the winning team. I assume that you know the name of the winning team as you are the challenge lead.
Yeah, I do.
That was actually just
good question, Nick.
Yeah, no, it was actually a way I could get the microphone tested.
Yeah.
But so that's what we're going to do. But I just wonder, Dirk, is there anything you want to add before we announce that winner?
Well, just what Jo said is true. It was very hard to compare the solutions because they're quite different. But after much deliberation, we came up with a winner, which we think really deserves it. But I also want to stress we would like to discuss with the other teams about how going further, because all 4 solutions are worth investigating further.
Oh, wow. So, teams, you heard it here first, win or no win. The invitation is open from Dirk there. To have a conversation and find out how you can keep going forwards instead of saying how you can't keep going forwards. That's the collaborative spirit that we love to see here. So thank you so much, Dirk, for that. Once we've announced the winner, there'll be some delight. I'm sure we'll go talk to that winner for a bit, and then we're going to come back to one of the challenge leads for some
let's do it.
Updates. So
do it.
I'm going to get the drum machine rolling. It's a Zaudam version 1.0, and let's go. Okay, Dirk, when you're ready, 3, 2, 1. The winning team is
Recheck.
There we go. Emilian and Emil for me in the top right and bottom left. Happy people by the look of it. I can't cut to both of you live. That's not going to work well. Which one should I speak to first? That'll be Emilian, if we could get him full screen, and you can unmute yourself. Hello, sir.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, congratulations for being the
Congratulations.
Winners. That's a good job.
Thank you, and big thanks to the challenge stakeholders and all the teams. And I just want to reiterate what was already shared, that it was really not a competition. I didn't feel it like a competition, although it is a kind of competition, but it is a mass collaboration effort. And within our small challenge, we managed to really work in this close cooperation, help each other, and so we do hope that this will continue in the near future.
Very, very nice.
Well, I think it's now up to you. You know, we have the challenge leads, but I think it's up to you all as teams to take the lead in making sure that happens. Emilian, I can't remember. Are you based here in the Netherlands?
We run a Dutch company, but we are coming from Bulgaria with Emil. And I believe that you also work with Bulgarian developers.
A couple of them, yes.
Momentum.
Based in Sofia.
Small world, small world.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
a collaborative and a global, or at least I guess European level effort there. That's good to hear. So, Emilian, can you tell us just a little bit about what was it you built that you think the judges thought, okay, this can really help open up real estate?
Yeah, not really sure, but perhaps one of the things that we really prioritized during Momentum was building some very essential infrastructure components. So this challenge was about unique object identifier as a connector, as a unique identity of real estate objects, and being able to synchronize the data exchange, especially when you have this multi-stakeholder process. And we decided that in order to unlock this potential, we need to create some very essential infrastructure components. So this was the generator of the UI, unique object identifier, a basic search engine for the UI, and some functionalities for linking attributes or data documents to the UI, any kind of data and documents, and also being able to see the historical overview, what happened in the real estate over time.
Fabulous. Let me hold you there, because you used a couple of terms that maybe not everybody's familiar with. So a unique identifier is, I guess, like a serial number that is truly unique and is a single identification. And my understanding is that's important because today everybody who has information about a real estate object is probably using their own identifier, which makes it impossible for you to talk about the same thing as me, because your registration number and mine are different. We can't compare notes. Yours might be numbers, mine might be words. It could be that simple. And you're saying, how do we create a truly unique identifier for every, and I guess any object future, that my system can reference, so I don't have to change my system too much. Your system can reference, you don't have to change that too much, and we can all then start to work together. And if I've got that right, that sounds very, very simple until you look out of the window and go, there's an awful lot of real estate objects in the world. That's not trivial. No. Is that am I close?
You put it absolutely correctly, Nick. And please also, for the general audience, keep in mind that these unique identifiers, they can go at a very low level. So it's not really only about the building. There is an identifier of the apartment, the wall, the window, the construction materials. So it is a way to manage the whole life cycle of the buildings. Mm-hmm. It is a way to maybe use this as an instrument for managing some policies. Imagine this aligned with the European Green Deal, speaking about the energy efficiency of the building, speaking about the circularity aspect, speaking about demolishing buildings and reconstruction. So it is a way to have this as a, let's say, a barcode on a global level.
Yeah.
Something that is universal, something that can be translated by any kind of institutions, businesses, and something that can really synchronize and facilitate this data exchange between them.
Yeah, fantastic. And I mean, this would be big enough at a national level as an ambitious project. But of course, digital doesn't know boundaries, so I can assume that global domination in a collaborative, open way is probably your goal. Creating an MVP or a proof of concept or just the tech was not the only challenge for this weekend. We asked you to think about how you would then take this into a pilot program in the real world. Can you tell us a little bit about how you see the next few months of making that happen?
Yeah, this is also very much dependent on the challenge stakeholders and the direction that they will set and the specific topics for the pilots.
This might be a moment for you to get your wishes in above and before they have their say. So go for it.
No, just to say really a big thank you to all challenge stakeholders, all the contributors, especially the Odyssey team and Jedis and everyone that participated in this. But speaking about the challenge stakeholders, we managed to build very good communication. We had a number of discussions and brainstorming sessions. And we somehow identified possible directions for pilots. They're still not confirmed, so it is a process. But maybe going for a building passport, going to a renovation passport could be a possible directions for pilots. Of course, this depends on their agenda and the priorities they have on their list.
Yeah, I think a building passport has been on Jo's wish list for a couple of years already. So happy to hear that as well. It must be in this case that you're dealing with a lot of, let's say, interaction with all kinds of standards that need to be certified. How does your solution interplay with that?
Yeah, definitely it is a challenge, and it is not our strength because as a blockchain startup, we don't have this experience in the real estate sector. So it will be a matter of very intensive communication and collaboration, I assume.
Yeah.
And perhaps here we can really link this data and these standards to the UI, but in a way that this information can be validated. Also using blockchain technology, with electronic signature, with verification on the blockchain, with the digital identities of the users for the access control of the data. So we see this as an opportunity for a really mass collaboration effort that perhaps will also involve other teams and a lot of other contributors.
And this is, I assume, also the part of the open source strategy that you envision moving forward.
Definitely, unique object identifier is something open, inclusive, something that should enable new kind of digital infrastructure. So everything should be transparent. It should enable other startups and companies to build applications on top of this infrastructure component, and we very much look to collaborate with them.
Basically, what you are doing is giving utilizing an IP address, but then for a building. Right, you're bringing the building online.
Kind of, yeah.
Cool.
Okay, I thought I got it, and now you just twisted my worldview by another degree, and it's like, oh, wow, that opens up an awful
Programmable
lot.
buildings. Yes, Nick. Yes,
exactly. Yes. Again, congratulations. And one of the things that we promised you over the weekend, of course, was not only the cash money prize, but an award not generated by us, but by you and your challenge track teammates. And we've got that ready for you. It looks something like this. And it is for those who may not have joined us at the weekend or are watching this in the future, this is a piece of digital art that was created real time throughout the weekend by these folks using data, so it totally fits all of the principles of Momentum. There's 2,940 small blocks that represents the minutes of open time in the hackathon. All of your wows and all of your ecosystem join commits, offers, out in invitations, whatever you want to visualize them as, have been blown together into this piece of unique digital art that is three-dimensional and fully scalable. You can zoom in and out of it, etc., etc. Obviously, we couldn't finish it yesterday because we didn't know the name of the winning team. That has now been done and embedded into it. The data of all of that, and I have no idea how this technology works, is getting sent up to the blockchain, which means that this piece of art, digital art, is truly unique, can be verified as unique, and we will turn the keys or the tokens or the proofs, whatever it is, over to Team Recheck, Emil and Emilian.
Yes.
So that you can show the whole world that you own a totally unique piece of digital art. And that might not sound much, I mean, it sounds incredibly cool and science fiction futuristic for me today, but I can imagine there's some cool stuff in that world to come. Mm-hmm. But we're not here to promote those solutions. I'd like to go back to one of the challenge leads to just talk a little bit more about what this all means in terms of, now we know which team has won.
Yeah, why did they win? And
you've said, why did they win? You've said the other teams are also welcome, and to talk about what it's like to run some pilots in the future from your end. Who would like to take that? I'm looking at Nick, Dirk, and Yo. They're all looking like.
I think Nick.
Don't give it to me. I'm so tired.
Nick is up for that.
Yeah, sure. Well, this team won. The challenge was also based on adoption, because I think the concept of theory is quite clear, but when you don't have adoption, it doesn't help. And I think the Recheck team from the beginning really focused on how to get adoption, how can we collaborate with other teams. And I think, as Emilian already pointed out, also the pilots of what we're going to do after Momentum also depends on our stakeholders. So then I'm especially lucky with Joe Broncos because I think he knows everyone in the whole world, so it seems. So he already has lined up a lot of companies that already talk to the teams. And they're going to discuss after this. We're going to give them a podium. They can present their solution. And then there can be multiple use cases because it's an infrastructure to share information. So we'll keep the conversation going, make sure the right teams are there, right companies are there, and just see where's the most sense of urgency, because I think we need to start there. And when I'm right, you already arranged that this Wednesday, there already is one moment they can present their solutions, and there will be more in the future. And I think this will be an ongoing conversation to see where's the most sense of urgency, or where's the most benefit to be gained. And that would be a really interesting pilot thing for Recheck and maybe also for other teams.
Fabulous, that makes an awful lot of sense to me. I'm looking at Rutger to say, any last thoughts or words about this challenge, this set of teams, this set of challenge leads?
Well, I would like to learn a little bit more on I think especially for this case, adoption is the real challenge, right? As you said, there are a gazillion objects out there. So what kind of stakeholders or players would you welcome, let's say, in the next 3 to 6 months to this, let's say, project space? You've basically created a space of opportunities, right? But you have really tangible prototypes to move forward. So when we're looking at this real estate space and your stakeholders, what would you welcome in the next 3 to 6 months, so to say, to take this forward? Who can join and how can they contribute to that?
I think maybe you can best answer that question because you did a lot of effort creating the ecosystem.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, well, I think what is important is that we show the market what we developed.
Yeah.
Until now it was theoretical and it's complex to understand. But now we have 4 very good examples in which we can show the market what we're talking about. In the next few weeks, months, we will have several global meetups, meetings, stages where we can present the solutions, all the 4 solutions to really a global audience in real estate. So we hope that we can encourage companies to step in and to start pilots with them. But we also will do several things by ourselves. Now we are now at the moment composing an international consortium to apply for a large Horizon 2020 call in support of the Green Deal. And we already have large organizations from Germany, from Netherlands, from Spain, from Portugal, from Switzerland, from Austria. They like to collaborate. And I think we need to prepare this before the end of January. I think this will be a massive opportunity to implement all 4 use cases that we develop now and to further develop them towards real market product. And then in the last, we will not alone focus on the Green Deal. We already have 3 contacts in the United States. We have some contacts in Australia. We have some contacts, some pilot projects that are in preparation in London, the UK. So there will for sure be some possibilities, but it's depending on the interest of the parties, and that's the difficulty. We give them, they're curious to work with the UOI, and now we can give them half a solution. And I think that this will be very good opportunities for all the teams.
Sounds like you're going to have a busy next 6 months, and if the teams follow up accordingly, then they will be quite busy as well.
Yeah, I think I see it as an opportunity for all of us together.
Yeah.
And I think we just started with something, and now it's up to all of us to make a success out of that.
Yeah. I think that's also very much how I know you, Jo, but also what you only can hope from a governmental agency like the Ministry of the Interior and Cadastre, the Land Registry, is that they serve as a connector and also enable all these parties to move forward collectively. So from what you're telling us, that is about to happen. So very, very good.
We're also going to do some roundtables with the European Commission and some national governments to also bring it under their attention. I think we need to build these ecosystems, and that's what we try to do.
Perfect.
And you know what I love about this? I love the way you always just, name dropping countries and large, super important organizations and governments. But this is not bragging or humble bragging. This is a very serious commitment to getting stuff done with willing partners all around.
This is the result.
Planet.
This is the result of years and years of work that has been already done by the challenge leads and their stakeholders. This is the accumulation of that, and I think that is so nice that this is not the first time also for Cadastre to be with us, and over the years basically you see this understanding of what we are trying to solve together evolve and grow each year, and really what I get the feeling that this is leading towards a breakthrough, because the solutions also come to a maturity level that you can actually apply them, and that basically anyone involved in developing buildings, buying, selling them, so also the players on the market really are going to understand.
Transporting them, recycling the materials in them, supplying energy to them.
It's becoming a no-brainer because all that accumulated knowledge that is now in there, and normally, let's say, real estate. I think it's interesting, but it's not my field of work, so to say. But if you look at the things that are coming together and how you are able to improve the living spaces of people, yeah, that's insane. That's really, there are so many opportunities there on a global scale. Really exciting.
Absolutely, and despite the complexities which tend to be hidden behind the scenes, super easy to explain to somebody to understand, and then extrapolate what the impact could be. Gentlemen, ladies, folks, peoples, we are pretty much out of time, so I'm going to recap. If you are watching this live and have no idea what we're talking about, or you're watching this in the future but forgot, we've been talking about opening up real estate, where our challenge leads from the Cadastre, Fibre and the Dutch Ministry of the Interior have awarded Team Recheck with the top prize, but extended an invitation to keep working with all of the teams in the very best momentum collaborative spirit. So thank you so much. We're going to shut this call down now. Enjoy celebrating, sleeping, work, whatever it is you have coming up next. Thank you so much, and congratulations again to you all.
Bye-bye.
We are back in 12 minutes or so, where we will be, we're going to Nature 2.0.
Looking forward already.
That, I guarantee you, is going to be a ride of some sort. 12 minutes, same time, same place. Thank you so much.